Hi, this is Rick for EDU Mobile. Now we're going to look at the material theme very simply. We're going to start with just the three different varieties of material theme and then go on to how to customize colors in a very simple example. So if I look at the activity main, the XML file in its design view, I can see here that I'm using a light material theme material light. I can switch that in design view to material dark and look at that and see how my design would appear in a default material dark theme. Now, the problem with this is we're only seeing how these things would appear if our style is set to material, or our theme is appropriately set to material. We are not going to get this theme just by switching it in the design view of our activity. This doesn't make any change to the layout or any properties of the layout. In fact, the appropriate change is not made in the layout. It's going to be made in resource values styles.xml, v21. v21 standing for version 21, Lollipop. So if we look at that file, we can see that I've made that change. I have changed the styles name app theme parent equal Android : theme material. Theme material, as we already know from the discussion, is going to be the material dark theme. So now when I run this application, I also have commented out here something we're going to do a little bit later. But when I run this application, we'll see what the material dark theme looks like by default. So here's our app running. We can see that we have a dark background, we have a dark action bar, and we have a button here, Say Hi, and then when we click Say Hi, we display Hello Material in a text view. So we're doing that exactly the way we would normally do that. We're finding the text view by ID, and then we're changing its text to Hello Material. Notice, though, that with the regular material style, material dark, the text is white in all of these controls by default. Now we can adjust that and change that, but that's for a little bit later. All right, so that's our first example. Now we'll change to material light, and we can do that just by saying dot light. So that's our material light style or theme, and now when we run again, we'll see the material light style and contrast that with the regular material dark style. So this is our material light style. We have a white background, a light gray action bar with black text on the controls and also in the text view. So when we click, we see Hello Material in a black text. So this is material.light. Finally, we'll try the material light dark action bar style right there. Save that and run again. So here's material light dark action bar. Again, white background, black text in the activity itself with a dark action bar with white text in the action bar. Again, when we press the button, we get Hello Material in black text against the white background. So these are the default material styles. There are three: theme material light, and theme material light dark action bar. So now let's go ahead and make a change to one of the properties of the theme. So in this case, we're going to change Android color primary, and this is going to change the color of the action bar. So if we look at design view, this is going to change the color that is here in the action bar itself. So now if we go ahead and run, actually I want to see what that color is. There's a couple of things we can do here. If we like our color that we've chosen, we can just use it, or we can click on this small color swatch here and get a color palette and then alter it any way we want. So if, for example, we want a green color in our action bar, then we can use that and choose that, and the color swatch changes and the color here changes. remembering that Android colors are specified in alpha RGB format. So alpha is the FF. If we want to change the transparency, we can change it here, but there's another attribute that we can change in order to make the action bar less fully opaque. And we'll talk about that later. So now we'll go ahead and run it one more time and notice the change by changing the primary color of the Android property of our Material Light Dark Action Bar theme. This will change the background color of the action bar. So now we can see with this running that our color has been applied to the background of the action bar. And of course everything else works exactly the way it would have. Now I will say that a little bit of patience is required in API 21 when running with Android Studio with this emulator. This emulator, during the course of recording this demo, has crashed twice. What I do, just for some helpful hint, is I'll go ahead and run the app and then look at the processes as they're happening in the monitor application. I'll show you how to get that in just a moment. But you can then see your process coming up, and it'll usually be at the tail of this. You can inspect the logs as you're watching it. Once the emulator is up and stable, it may not run your app there in the first go, but once the emulator is up and stable and the monitor is showing your emulator as being online, then you can go ahead and run it again, and it will usually, almost always, run that time. So that's just a little helpful hint. So how do you get the monitor? You can get the monitor by going to Tools and then Android and use Android Device Monitor right here. And Android Device Monitor will monitor an actual device connected or an emulator. Thank you very much.